Before we get back to the show, let me tell you about Bart's Pizza. Bart Basilico reinvented his father's pizzeria business by putting it on wheels. I'm talking a pizza food truck, baby. Bart and his wife Lauren travel all around Metro Detroit, cooking up homemade pies made fresh to order in their 4-layered pizza oven on wheels. You can find them on their website at eatbartspizza.com and Facebook and Instagram as well at Bart's Pizza. His last name is literally Basil, so you know he knows what he's doing. Make sure to grab a cannoli as well while you're there. Bart's Pizza, it's too good.
Yo, I'm Jake Masucci from Jake's Takes. I wanted to talk a little bit about my show on my guy Giovanni's own show. And I wanted to talk about a little bit about Jake's Takes. I'm a student manager at Oakland University, and I kind of just talk all things sports. I talk a lot about the NBA, talk a little college basketball. We did a lot of March Madness stuff recently. We talked about NBA playoffs, NFL playoffs, talked a lot about the NFL draft. It's basically just an all things sports show. I really think you guys would enjoy it. And shout out to my guy Giovanni. Love him. But please check out Jake's Takes. It's available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and then it's also available on its own YouTube channel. So please check out Jake's Takes, but please continue enjoying Giovanni's show.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the GioMoShow, right here on 88.3 FM WXOU, Auburn Hills, Michigan, Oakland University, and all your wonderful station identification features. I am your host, Giovanni Mosheri, Sports Media Director here at WXOU, and the GioMoShow is your home for all Oakland sports and beyond on 88.3 FM. Don't forget to follow WXOU on our MAB award-winning social media platforms, including but not limited to TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And don't forget, go ahead and follow me as well. I am on all such platforms. Instagram for the GioMoShow will be at the GioMo Show. And you can find me at Twitter at GioMoSherry WXOU. And if you missed the GioMoShow live, you are not with me currently on 88.3 FM, then you can listen to the GioMoShow anytime on YouTube and Spotify. So there's no way to miss the GioMoShow. And we got a lot to cover today, folks. This has been first show in a few weeks. You know, we took a little bit of a break in August, had a wonderful vacation to Sicily, much like the men's basketball team had a wonderful trip to Italy, more in the north. They went to Rome, Florence, and Venice. I stayed in my hometown, or family's hometown of Sicily. But that is not to be talked about here because we're here to bring you all that you need. We're going to be covering Oakland sports today, as usual. We're going to be covering the USPBL today, as usual. And finally, we get to cover the Detroit Lions. They play later today against the Kansas City Chiefs on ring night to open up the NFL season in Arrowhead for ring night against the champs. We're going to be covering all of that today, as well as, if time permits, we have a fantastic interview with Club Men's Volleyball. We got a packed house for that interview. We got Hamad, we got Matthew, we got Anthony in the house for the interview for Men's Club Volleyball, and information as well on how to join and how to get involved with your club sports. So we got plenty to cover right now. If we do not have time for the interview, then you can find it on YouTube and Spotify at 6:30 during the show is when I would usually try to make time to play it. Unfortunately, that does not look like the case for today. And before we get started with the show, I want to give a couple of announcements here. We as in WXOU, an event today going on at Hamlin Circle on campus. Rain or shine. If it does become rain, the event will take place in the Habitat inside the Oakland Center. That event being Social at the Circle, because it is hosted at Hamlin Circle. We're going to have all kinds of wonderful festivities for you guys. WXOU is going to be there playing music and DJing like we do many, many events, and we do such a good job at it. We're going to have a popcorn machine, a slushie machine. We're going to have so many yard games that you won't even know how we had so much yard for these games, including what I didn't know existed until now is Giant Uno, where the cards are like this bigger than the palm of your hand. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Be sure, 7 o'clock, right after the Joe Show, is going to be the Social at the Circle. So do not miss out and meet all the wonderful staff here at WXOU. It's going to be one of the biggest events that we have for the station. Be sure to get down there right after the Joe Show. And I wanted to save this part for last. For the Social at the Circle, you'll notice that for a 7 to 10 event that overlaps with the Detroit Lions taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. But do not worry. We're going to be having a watch party all together. I'm going to be doing my best to call the game myself because, of course, I am the sports media director here at WXOU. Harj Buttar is most likely going to be helping me call that game. And it's going to be a fantastic watch party with live commentary to Boone. So be sure to get down to Hamlin Circle at 7 o'clock. And now, before we get started with the Joe Show, we got to talk about Bart's Pizza. Bart Basilico reinvented his father's pizzeria business by putting it on wheels, that being a pizza food truck, baby. Bart and his wife Lauren travel all around Metro Detroit, cooking up homemade pies made fresh to order in their 4-layered pizza oven on wheels. You can find them on their website at eatbartspizza.com and on Facebook and Instagram at Bart's Pizza. His last name is literally Basil, so you know he knows what he is doing. And make sure to grab a cannoli as well while you are there. It's Bart's Pizza. It's too good. All right, let's get right into it. We got Oakland sports to cover. And before we get into the sports specifically, the sports going on being volleyball and men's and women's soccer for this time in the fall, we got some general news for Oakland University sports. One of our sports information directors, David Gibson, has moved on to bigger and brighter things, moving to an information-focused college sports website, of which I forgot the name of, unfortunately. But either way, David Gibson has provided such a great service for Oakland University, managing all of his share of the sports, splitting it with Teddy Ridequist, who is now taking the lion's share of the responsibilities as SID. And he's done such a wonderful job for us at WXOU, getting us, into the flow of things, him being the person to go to for all the resources at the game. And we wish him nothing but good luck in his future endeavors. And if I could find the tweet that he released announcing where he will be going, then I'll sure let you guys know. But you can find it on Twitter as well if you're looking for more specific information. So good luck, and thank you very much to David Gibson. And now let's get into the volleyball. The preseason rankings, the preseason poll that the Horizon League releases before every season for every sport has Oakland University volleyball placed in 6th out of the 9 teams for Horizon League volleyball. Above them are Cleveland State at 5, Milwaukee at 4, Green Bay at 3, Northern Kentucky 2, and Wright State in the preseason top of the poll. Oakland being placed just about right in the middle of the Horizon League. So going through the games that they have played so far, starting at August 25th, would be their first regular season match in the Chicago Classic, where they faced Lindenwood, UIC, and St. Thomas. And the results of those matches, Lindenwood was a tough loss for the Golden Grizzlies, taking it all the way to Game 5, but to lose the match 2-3. And then UIC was a bit of a stumble against the former Horizon League school, because UIC, as of a couple of years ago, used to be part of the Horizon League. They were able to sweep the Golden Grizzlies 0-3, but then Oakland washed that bad taste out of their mouth with a win against St. Thomas of Minnesota, is what I believe the notation is, if you're looking at my notes here. Washed that bad taste out of their mouth with a win 3-1 against St. Thomas. And then, moving on, September 1st was the start of the Popcorn Classic being held at Valparaiso. And Valparaiso, who I've been told used to be a rival to Oakland University back in the Summit League days of Division II. So at the Popcorn Classic, they faced Eastern Michigan, Western Illinois, and the hosting Valparaiso themselves. Oakland was able to come out strong out of the gates against Eastern Michigan and Western Illinois, winning both matches 3-1, but then a stumble at the end against the hosting Valparaiso ended in a 0-3 loss. And you can find the thoughts of Krista Rice, head coach of Oakland University Volleyball, on on Golden Grizzlies social media and volleyball social media as well. We unfortunately do not have time today to play the Grizz Vision for you. Same goes for Juan Paulo Favero, head coach of women's soccer. He had a couple of Grizz Visions that would provide great insight as to the let's say the summer games of women's soccer. So be sure to go check those out on your own time, but we do not have any time to spare here on the JoMo Show. And continuing with the Popcorn Classic for Oakland volleyball, Patty Cesarini and Kennedy Dolmage were named to the Popcorn Classic All-Tournament team. So shout out to them and congratulations. And the Golden Grizzlies, with both the Chicago and Popcorn Classics finished, they're now 3-3. And Golden Grizzlies will be soon hosting this weekend the Golden Grizzly Invitational. So Oakland is going to be hosting one of these college volleyball tournaments here at the arena. You can find them facing the Eastern Michigan Eagles tomorrow at noon, and then later that day against Kansas City, Friday at 7. Then Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock, they will be facing Chicago State. So be sure to get down to the arena for the Golden Grizzlies Invitational to get all of your Oakland University volleyball. And if you can't get down to the arena, but you are still interested and want to listen to the game, then WXOU is the home for Oakland University sports as well as volleyball. So get ready for Oakland volleyball right here on WXOU in the coming weeks. And you can find the entire game schedule of not only volleyball, but of all sports on GoldenGrizzlies.com is where all the information, schedules, and everything you need to know can be found. So now moving on to our second of 3 Oakland University sports. We got women's soccer. The preseason polls came out naming Oakland the number 2 team going into the 2023 season. The only team above them is Milwaukee, who either last year or a couple of years ago, to my memory, went undefeated in the Horizon League and had one loss outside of conference. So Milwaukee has become a powerhouse in the Horizon League for women's soccer, but Oakland is right behind them, and head coach Juan Paulo Favero is going to have them ready for a championship later this season. At least that's what the fan in me is hoping, of course. Getting into the schedule that they have played so far, their first game in the regular season was played on August 17th versus Kent State at Oakland University. It was a tough game against the Golden Flashes of Kent State, losing the match 1-2. Then they followed it up with another home game against Eastern Michigan on August 20th with a 1-0 win. See what I did there? Nil apparently is the proper notation for 0 points in soccer. So I'm going to be official here. We're going by the nil notation. So against Eastern Michigan, a little twist to this game, and you can learn about this on the Grizz Vision as of August 20th with head coach Favero. But apparently in that game, a red card was pulled on Oakland in the first 9 minutes of play. And that sent the entire game plan for Oakland University into a bit of a spin, into not turmoil, but, shake things up a little bit. But listening to the Grizz Vision, Coach Favero believes that is what actually gave them the edge against the Eastern Michigan Eagles, because missing a player means you're going to have to put a little more juice into it. It means you're going to have to put a little bit more effort into it and to be more on your game to cover up what you think is a weakness. But it also becomes an advantage because he believes that Eastern Michigan, in a team in that situation, would become a little bit complacent. Take it easy a little bit. One of the starters is gone, so it might not be as difficult. So the difference in attitude, Oakland playing a little harder to make up for it, is what Coach Favero believes was the advantage to give Oakland the 1-0 win against Eastern Michigan. However, since then, it's been a bit of a stumble for Oakland, facing Northwood for a 0-7 loss, and then facing Northern Illinois for a 0-0 tie. Another Grizz Vision posted after the Northern Illinois game. And then finally, actually we got 2 games left. August 31st was against Ohio State in Columbus, Ohio. Unfortunately, it was a 0-6 loss for the Golden Grizzlies. And then against Illinois State on the 3rd of September was a 2-2 tie. So that puts the Golden Grizzlies at, let me make sure this is updated here. One moment. Got to make sure. A 1-3-2 record so far for the Golden Grizzlies in out-of-conference play. But Horizon League play is coming up real soon here. So today, actually, I'm looking at my notes here. Today at 7, right after the GioMoShow, and at the same time as the Social at the Circle, WXOU's event at Hamlin Circle. 7 o'clock, Oakland women's soccer plays Western Michigan. So if you're listening right now, you have two options. You get to go watch women's soccer, or you get to meet WXOU and Hamlin Circle. So you got your great choices for on-campus activities. So that game is going to be going on today at 7. Then the team travels to Toledo for an away game before returning home for Horizon League action against Purdue Fort Wayne and Northern Kentucky. And you can hear all those games right here on WXOU. Those Horizon League games, that being. So you can't get enough sports here on WXOU, and we can't give enough to you. Now, moving on to men's soccer, wrapping up the Oakland sports here for today. Preseason poll came out naming Oakland third in the Horizon League going into the 2023 men's soccer season. Above them is only IUPUI and Cleveland State atop the Horizon League going into the season. And now for the games that they've played so far, Oakland has only played 3 against Marshall, Xavier, and UIC. And Oakland is still looking for their first win of the season. Marshall was a 0-4 loss. Xavier was a 1-2 loss, and then UIC was a 2-2 tie, bringing the Grizzlies 0-2-1 on the for the record so far. On Monday, they go to Loyola Chicago to face. I try to guess the mascots by the logo. The Timberwolves, we'll say the Loyola Chicago Timberwolves, we'll call it. So they go and play them on Monday at 11 a.m., which you can watch on ESPN Plus. And some news in regards to men's soccer. There has been a bit of a coaching shakeup for the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, as head coach Eric Pogue announced that he would be earlier in the summer that he would be taking a leave of absence indefinitely to focus on his mental health. Decided to make the tough decision to put himself first to make sure that he is in good enough shape to properly coach his team. And it was recently announced that he would be returning to the position on September 18th to return back to his coaching duties. And we welcome back head coach Eric Pogue in due time. Looking forward to his return and to help his Golden Grizzlies. And if you follow him on social media, then you can get more of the details of his official releases on his absence, talking about how the struggles he's had. I don't want to go too deep into it, but we're looking forward to his return. As for the rest of Oakland University soccer, the Golden Grizzlies are on the road this weekend to start Horizon League play against Cleveland State, and then tomorrow at 7 p.m. That game being tomorrow at 7 p.m. And then they come home to face Northern Kentucky on September 16th at 1 p.m. that you can hear right here on WXOU as well. Later on, they play U of M on Tuesday at 7 p.m. as well. All of which is going to be right here on WXOU. The sports are coming, and they're coming hot. Right here on WXOU. So that is going to wrap up your Oakland sports update for the GioMoShow here. We're going to get into the USPBL before heading into a break. And then we'll be talking about the Detroit Lions pregame summary, pregame review going into the game against the Chiefs.